I couldn't be more excited. This crypto quant chart tells us that the Bitcoin whales were accumulating more Bitcoin in recent days than they have been in the history of Bitcoin. This is extremely bullish, and it tells us that we are likely to be heading to new highs in the coming days. So despite recent bearish news, despite all the bad press you've been hearing out there, if you paid attention to the sentiment and did the opposite, then you probably also nailed the dip. In this video, I'm going to talk about some key metrics that are pointing to Bitcoin moving higher very, very soon, and also what this means for the altcoin season, because I think if we don't act fast, we're going to miss it. So guys, hit the like button and let's go and find out some more about what's going on. Now, first things first, let's have a quick look at this crypto quant chart while we are outside in the lovely sunshine. As you can see, just 3 days ago when Bitcoin was sat around 56k, and even some of the biggest YouTubers in the space were telling you that they were selling their bags. And this is what I warn you about time and time again, because when you're panicking, when you're fearful, the big money knows this, and they are making the most of the opportunity and buying the crypto that you are selling. I've been referring you to the Wall Street cheat sheet for at least the last 18 months. This chart stayed by my side and has managed to get me out of some of the stickiest situations I've ever been within crypto. And what are the sticky situations? Well, basically over leveraging yourself. So when those dips do come, you feel the pain really quite aggressively. But if you manage to realize that the feeling that you feel inside you is reflected by everyone else in the market, and most of the people in that market are most of the time wrong, then therefore you have to understand that you must react in the opposite manner to the way that you're feeling. I made a video about this last week, and I think a lot of you took it on board. So if you did, pat yourself on the back. Well done for overcoming that recent drama. Now, as we look into this Bitcoin chart, you can see that we are forming a descending wedge. Okay, this descending wedge is typically a very bullish pattern. And this descending wedge bounced from the buy zone we indicated the other day around $56,900 and is currently fighting to break out. And if the price breaks beyond 65k, I think we're going to aggressively push back to all-time highs yet again, and the reflection you see in the altcoin market will be enormous. Now remember, what allows us to dominate these markets is really straightforward. We simply identify buy zones and areas at which big money is accumulating projects. We pair that up with the negative feeling of sentiment in the market. The more bearish the market feels, the better we should feel about buying into it, despite the fact it is really hard to do that because our inner monkey mind is just panicking. We need to control the inner monkey, and we'll win in these markets. And remember, that inner monkey is also going to try and take hold of you at the top of the bull market, where you should be looking at selling, not just accumulating more crypto. So make sure you subscribe if you want me to keep your inner monkey under control. Now, what I also want to point out is we go across to CoinGlass. Something else that left us with the indication that we weren't going lower, and in fact we were going to go higher, was the fact that the liquidations had already been taking place down around 56k. Once that liquidity had been soaked up, the next move then saw us heading higher, with the next huge liquidity pockets sitting at around $67,000. That means that if Bitcoin is able to reach that $67,000 level, then we will likely hit liquidity, and this could propel us very quickly towards the upside. Now, there are a couple of risks to this. The risk being that if Bitcoin fails to break this descending wedge, then it could roll over and come back down for another visit to around the $56,900 level. What does that mean for us? Well, it means bloody good news, because if it does that, then again, you're going to see all of your altcoins bouncing back into that zone that we marked out the other day and those dips that we bought. Therefore, if you have some cash left over and it rolls into that zone, then what I'm going to be doing is accumulating further. And what I like to do, and I've been showing you this time and time again, is to mark out those boxes in the buy zones. We identify the buy zones by looking for large bullish candles on the way up, and then identifying where those candles came from. Now, this is basically what happens in a buy zone. I want you to understand this concept. Big money is buying in at that price. When the price moves out of that zone, big money doesn't want to buy it anymore. Big money will only pay X money for that particular product. Imagine, for example, that you really like certain types of avocados, but you can only really afford to buy avocados when they're on special offer. Therefore, when the avocados are worth $3 each, you don't want to touch them. If they come down to $1 each, you're happy to get in. Imagine the bulls doing exactly the same. This is with any product within crypto. When it comes down to that buy zone, they're willing to jump in, and you need to be prepared to do the same, despite the fact the chart is moving downwards and you think it might continue. And here's a few buy zones that we've been marking out in the last few days, and I talked about these just a couple of days ago. So if you got into those, then let me know down below which of those coins you were buying in those dips and how you're feeling about that investment right now. So we talked about BVM, which got down to $2.50, and since then has been up around 70%. We talked about Solana around $123, and since then Solana's up at $145. We talked about AIOZ around 55 cents, and now it's sat around 79 cents. Now guys, I'm not doing this just to kind of like rub it in your face if you miss this dip and make you feel bad about this, okay? This is literally just telling you that there is method to the madness. There is something you can do, and it's very much reliant on you being able to read the sentiment in the market, feel the fear, and read the comments, what you're seeing on YouTube and other places like that. If you went to the TradingView homepage just a couple of days ago, you would have seen everyone telling you that Bitcoin was going down to around 40K. I went on YouTube and I saw some of the biggest YouTubers in the whole space saying that they were selling their bags of crypto. I went on Twitter, I saw other people panicking. This is when you must start to identify the buy zones and capitalize, because we are in a bull market. We are in an upwards trajectory move where we will see pullbacks. This won't be the last one we see, and when we see the next one, we need to be able to react cool and calmly, pull the trigger, and this is the only way to take your emotion out of this game. Now, if you're panicking because you missed recent dips, you didn't capitalize on the move, or perhaps you sold the dips, then I would remain calm. Don't be tempted to go and look at the coins that are pumping the most right now and decide to go and dive into those. Those coins that are pumping the most right now are probably AI coins by the look of it, and deep-in coins. There are a lot of coins within that particular narrative, and they do tend to follow each other. So if right now we're seeing AIOZ pumping like crazy, then think about other deep-in AI projects that could also be picking up off of this narrative move that haven't yet been moving so hard. Go and look at the likes of Bcash, Render, etc. And this is probably where I would be looking. Don't be tempted to just look at what everyone's talking about in the groups, because remember, everyone is almost certainly wrong. And if you're asking someone, is it too late to buy this coin? You're almost certainly right, it's too late. So don't bother asking that question. We are literally on the cusp of entering into the biggest altcoin season that you have ever seen. But you don't need to FOMO. Remember, the coins that haven't pumped yet have much better upside opportunity than the ones that have been pumping recently. All I'm trying to teach you throughout this crypto market is that you are your own worst enemy. All you've got to be is yourself, because most people can't do it. And led astray by all the hype and excitement, they're also then led astray to do stupid things when they're scared and fearful. Be like Warren Buffett, who says be fearful when others are greedy and be greedy when others are fearful. A few things you simply want to pay attention to. Go to Twitter, follow the fear and greed index. Right now, we're starting to get greedy again. Just a few days ago, we were deep in the fear. That would have been a perfect buying signal for you. Go and follow the suggestion tabs on TradingView. And when people are really bearish on that, then you need to be looking at buying up. On the flip side of things, when everyone's going super bullish and flipping super bullish, then also be very cautious and pay attention to the news and the media. The media is simply there to get you to do something foolish. That might be selling when we're low down, or trying to buy when we're high up. So the media is a fantastic gauge on all of this. As soon as you see Cathie Wood telling you that Bitcoin's going to go to $1 million, that's probably one of the ultimate sell signals. Because literally, I've seen her say that like 5 or 10 times, and you can plot this on a chart that each of them is a local peak in Bitcoin's price. So set an alert on Cathie Wood, and every time she tells you that Bitcoin's going to $1 million, sell it up, okay? Then sell it up, get out of there. Well, where do I anticipate these coins going? This is going to be the biggest bull market you've ever seen. Whether prices go to the highs that you are expecting, you need to be a little bit cautious. I know there's a lot of people out there on YouTube and Twitter promising you 100x's on coins that are already worth $1 billion that have 0 users. And I know there's lots of people who are like, well, yeah, this coin was there in the last bull market and it's going to go there in the next bull market. But remember, tokens also unlock and they inflate, and tokens potentially going to be worth less and less. And also there's like $4.5 million crypto coins in the whole market, and there will be more every single day going forward, which means that money is more spread out amongst different projects. So you simply need to have some reasonable expectations. Maybe that's a 10x, maybe that's a 15x, and fine, have a few smaller bets on some coins that maybe could do 100x into the future if you get so lucky. And to be honest, you just need to realize how damn simple and damn easy this is. Identify the key narratives: AI, DPIN, BRC20, real world assets. In DeFi, also useful and interesting, but struggles a bit because retailers find lots of the subjects a bit more confusing. and maybe a little bit boring. GameFi, also an interesting one. I think a lot of GameFi projects are yet to see the hype and excitement that they deserve to see. And when the full retail army arrives, I'm going to see a big push in gaming. Don't need to hold more than 10 to 15 coins. You just need to look after your bags correctly. And this will be an extremely easy and profitable bull run for you. Personally, in the dips, I accumulated BVM, I accumulated AIOZ, I bought some BFi, I got some Planet Mojo, I got some Pangolin, and I bought some Ords. In tomorrow's video, I'm going to talk about my entire crypto portfolio and some of the other coins I've been accumulating through April, as well as the coins that I think will perform best during May. Guys, hopefully as we continue to go along on this crypto journey, you're constantly upskilling yourself, and we're going to find ourselves in a very fortunate position not long from now. The hard work you put in now and the time and effort you spend researching and upskilling yourself will pay off like no other time investment you can imagine. Hope you enjoyed that video, guys. Something slightly different, of course. Absolutely roasting hot down here in the jungle today. So do me a favor, hit that like button if you enjoyed it, and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow in another video. Bye-bye.